Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cryptonews Weekly Roundup. Your hosts here, Matt Zahab and Rachel Wolfson. We are buzzing as always, folks. We were praying, Rachel and I were praying to the crypto gods for a couple weeks of green back when we were in bloodbath territory a couple weeks ago, even a couple of months ago, geez. And the crypto gods have answered. We love to see it. Rachel, green across the board. Lovely Thursday afternoon. How you doing this lovely afternoon?
Doing well, Matt, back here in the Bay Area, back to being cold again, but we've got some exciting news of the week. So yeah, I guess that means that I don't have to worry about being chilly this week.
I love it. As always, we're going to start with some price action. Guys, as we record, we are back above the 100K mark. Last time we hit that, I was in Buenos with a couple buddies, and I remember Rachel and I were recording, and we were going crazy because Bitcoin hit 100K. It's back above 100K. Bitcoin's up 4 ticks on the week to 101.3 per Bitcoin. Ethereum's up 10%, back above that. Big psychological. Back above that psychological 2K barrier, currently sitting at 2,050 per ETH, and the biggest gainer of the week, up 10 ticks, like I said. XRP, pretty standard week, nothing much on the board, same price. BNB up 3%, Sol up 5% to 160, another big week for Sol, and like I said, green across the board. We love to see it. Rachel, biggest news of the week, Bitcoin back above 100K, trade talks, optimism, and ETF inflows have ignited the rally.
Yeah, Matt, so this is really exciting news. So Bitcoin price surged past the psychological important $100,000 mark on Thursday, spurred by optimism over fresh U.S.-China trade talks and renewed institutional demand. The milestone, last seen in mid-February, came during the mid-morning trading before prices cooled to just under the threshold. At the time of recording on Thursday afternoon, we're sitting at about 101.3K per Bitcoin with a session low of near $95,959. Even after slipping back to about 99,300, BTC remains up more than 30% from April when President Trump's Liberation Day tariffs rattled risk assets. Try saying that 3 times fast, Matt.
Yeah, that's a tongue twister. And why is Bitcoin up, folks? Well, 3 big reasons in particular. First and foremost, the trade talks. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has a meeting planned with Chinese officials in Switzerland, and hopefully this will de-escalate tariffs. That's number one. Numero dos, Bitcoin ETFs are flowing at all-time highs. A record 142 million of funds of net inflows on Wednesday, again signaling institutional buyers are back and ready to dance again. And lastly, the macro backdrop. The Fed Reserve's decision yesterday to hold rates at a steady 4.25 to 4.5% removed a key overhang of risk assets. Great news across the board. We're going to continue with some Bitcoin stuff. And Rachel, we got to talk about the Bitcoin ETFs, which have scooped up nearly 6x more Bitcoin than the miners produced last week. Pretty wild stuff here.
Yeah, crazy news. So US listed spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds are driving an aggressive wave of accumulation, buying nearly 6 times more Bitcoin last week than what was created by miners. According to a May 4th report from asset allocator HODL 15 Capital, spot Bitcoin ETFs acquired 18,644 BTC over the past week. In contrast, only 3,150 BTC were mined during the same period, roughly 450 coins per day. This is crazy stuff. There's such demand for Bitcoin, so that's definitely a good thing.
Yeah. Speaking of Bitcoin, Michael Saylor at it again. They have announced that they are doubling their capital raising plan to $84 billion. This happened after last week's earning report. They did post a $4.2 billion net loss in the first quarter, and they still own 554,000 Bitcoin, worth about $53 billion, and adopted the rule in Q1 following its approval at the end of 2024. Pretty wild stuff here. And what did MicroStrategy do this week again, Rachel? They bought more Bitcoin. Another week, another Saylor buy.
Yeah, Matt, let's talk about it. MicroStrategy continues its aggressive Bitcoin acquisition strategy with the latest purchase of 1,895 BTC for approximately $180.3 million. This acquisition, announced by the firm on Monday, was made at an average price of $95,167 per Bitcoin, bringing MicroStrategy's total holdings to about 555,450 BTC, acquired for a sum of about $38.08 billion. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, wild stuff by Saylor. Moving over to Ethereum. Great to see Ethereum back in the news after literally what seems like Rachel and I haven't spoke positively about Ethereum once. And we've almost been doing this for a year. This week, we finally had the Pectra upgrade. What happened with ETH? ETH jumped 12.5% in the last 24 hours, up 10% on the week, now trading above that 2,000 per ETH key psychological level. On May 7th, the Ethereum team announced that Pectra was already live on the project's mainnet after months of waiting. One of the most attractive aspects of Pectra, Rachel, is that it makes Ethereum a deflationary coin, as a portion of transaction fees will now be used to burn ETH tokens to reduce the circulating supply. We've talked about the two biggest coins. Now time to talk about one of the top 10 biggest coins, and my favorite, and that is Solana. Solana had a low-key, massive, huge major bug fix this week that could have let hackers withdraw funds, and they stopped this, and this was just incredible to see.
Yeah, so the Solana Foundation addressed a critical bug in its privacy-focused token system that, if it was exploited, could have allowed malicious actors to forge zero-knowledge proofs and perform unauthorized token minting or withdrawals. The flaw was disclosed on April 16th via GitHub advisory posted by Anza's Solana development team, along with a working proof of concept. Engineers from Anza, Firedancer, and Jitto promptly confirmed the issue and began remediation efforts, according to a post-mortem published on Saturday.
Yeah, well said there. Moving forward, Sol Strategies, again, back in the news, talking about Sol, snaps up 122,000 Sol worth $20 million. They raised a $500 million convertible note facility a couple weeks ago, and in their first tranche of acquiring more Sol, they acquired 100,222 Sol at an average price of 148 per Sol. This is huge, and like, we are huge fans of them, as Tony G used to run Cryptonews, and they are building the institutional backbone of Solana one block at a time, following through with the MicroStrategy of Solana playbook. Great stuff. Venture funding, couple quarters in a row where it was an absolute bloodbath, and we are back. Crypto venture funding, Rachel, surged to $4.9 billion in Q1 of 2025, the highest in a quarter since 2022.
Yeah, Matt. So venture capital investment in the crypto industry soared $4.9 billion in the first quarter of this year, marking the sector's most active fundraising period since late 2022, which was according to a May 1st report from Galaxy. The surge represents a 40% increase from the previous quarter, with 446 deals closed, a 7% uptick deal volume, according to the report. While the top-line figure signals renewed investor confidence in digital assets, a single transaction played an outside role. MGX's $2 billion investment into Binance accounted for over 40% of all capital raised during the quarter. Crazy stuff, good for Binance.
Yeah, Binance is still moving and grooving in the biggest exchange by country mile. Moving forward, Move is in the news again this week. Move is down 70%, and they've officially suspended their co-founder, Rishi Munch, citing an ongoing third-party review of governance procedures and market maker-related activities. They did reach a $2.5 billion, not million, billion-dollar market cap back in early January, fueled by a $100 million Series B round, valuing the project at $3 million, and their current market cap is under $500 million, marking a 70% decline. Much of the Move token's downward pressure has been attributed to poor market-making strategies and recent governance challenges. Another wild week, and hopefully the Move team can figure that out. Rachel, Netflix supposedly getting ready to launch an FTX series. This is going to be bananas. Can't wait to see who plays Caroline Ellison and SBF.
Yeah, Matt, I think this is something that we were all waiting for. And I think this is really probably some of the most exciting news of the week, actually. So Netflix is actively working on a series about the rise and fall of FTX executives Sam Bankman-Fried and Caroline Ellison, with major names on the table to play two of the main characters. So Evan Peters and Julia Garner may play the two main characters. The unnamed show has been in the works for over a year now, but seems to be well on its way, according to what Netflix has reported. According to Variety, Emmy-winning American actress Julia Garner is negotiating the role of Ellison. She'd also serve as an executive producer. Netflix has reportedly commissioned 8 episodes for the series. Hopefully this will be out soon. Can't wait to watch this.
That's going to be a treat. I think one of the first actual good crypto series to go live on one of the big streaming platforms. Last piece of news in the week, and always leaving the best for last. Stripe, the one and only Stripe, the global behemoth payments giant, has introduced a new financial tool designed to help businesses manage money using US dollar-backed stablecoins. The product is called the Stablecoin Financial Accounts, which enables companies in 101 countries to hold and transact in stablecoins. This was announced yesterday on May 7th. and will allow businesses to receive funds via both crypto and fiat rails, hold balance in digital dollars, and send stablecoins globally. Stripe is the biggest financial platform in the world for small businesses, and this is just huge for mass adoption. Rachel, another great weekly roundup. These are so much more fun to do when we have green across the board. We really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, please hammer that like button. Please subscribe. It would mean the world to our whole team. Thank you to the team for helping as always, and love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one, and hopefully we can keep this momentum going.
Definitely. Thanks, Matt. See you guys later. Have a good week. Bye.